Chapter 7, Eyes That Watch. Morning did not announce itself. It seeped in quietly, thin rays of pale light slipping through the tall windows, stretching across the polished floor like silent intruders. Draco was already awake. Not by habit. By choice. He stood in the center of his room, wand in hand, breath steady. Inhale. Exhale. The rhythm came naturally now. Not perfect. But no longer forced. A faint shimmer flickered at the tip of his wand, stable, controlled, almost obedient. He held it. 5 seconds. 10. 15. Then released it. The light faded instantly. No backlash. No instability. Consistent, he murmured. System notification. Magic control increased, 9%, 12%. Draco lowered his wand slightly, eyes narrowing. Progress is accelerating. Not because of talent. Not because of raw ability. But because of method. Structure. Understanding. He could feel it clearly now. The difference between blind effort and guided growth. A soft sound reached his ears. Footsteps. Outside his door. Draco's gaze shifted. Someone's there. He hadn't focused on that before. But now. It stood out. Clear. Distinct. Not loud. But noticeable. So my awareness improved too. Interesting. He didn't move immediately. Instead. He spoke. Standing outside my door isn't exactly subtle. Silence. Then. A slight shuffle. The door opened slowly. A house elf stepped in, bowing quickly. Master Draco. I was just listening? The elf froze. Draco tilted his head slightly, watching him. Not angry. Not loud. But sharp. The elf trembled. I was sent to check if you were awake, Master. Draco studied him for a moment. Then. He relaxed slightly. Next time, knock. Yes, Master. I apologize. Draco waved a hand dismissively. Go. The elf disappeared almost instantly. Draco turned back toward the window. His thoughts, however, were no longer calm. He heard them. Before. He wouldn't have noticed. Now. Even faint presence stood out. That wasn't normal. Or rather. It wasn't just normal. Is this because of control? Or something else? System. Status panel. Magic capacity, low. Control, 12%. Talent, political manipulation, 12%. Nothing new. Nothing obvious. But something had changed. He could feel it. A subtle sharpening of perception. Maybe, awareness is tied to control. If that was true, then improving control didn't just affect spells. It affected everything. Reaction speed. Detection. Decision-making. Draco's eyes darkened slightly. That's useful. Very useful. Breakfast passed quickly. This time. Draco spoke even less. Listened more. Observed everything. Lucius discussed matters involving certain families, names tied to influence, alliances, and quiet power. Draco paid attention. Not because he needed to act. But because information was power. Across the table, Narcissa glanced at him once. Not openly. But enough. She noticed the difference. Again. Draco ignored it. For now. After breakfast. He didn't return to his room. Instead. He moved through the manor. Slower than usual. Not wandering. Exploring. Mapping. Every corridor. Every turn. Every blind spot. Every servant's pattern. It wasn't something Draco Malfoy would normally do. But no one questioned it. Because no one paid that much attention. That was the advantage of arrogance. People saw what they expected. Nothing more. As he turned a corner near the inner courtyard, he stopped. Voices. Low. Controlled. Two men stood near the far archway. Not servants. Not family. Wizards. Draco's eyes narrowed slightly. Visitors. Important ones. He didn't move closer. Didn't reveal himself. Instead. He listened. The Dark Lord's return is only a matter of time, one of them said quietly. Draco's breath stilled. The Dark Lord. So early. Lucius understands his position, the other replied. He won't act recklessly. Let's hope so. Failure isn't tolerated anymore. Silence followed. Heavy. Dangerous. Draco's fingers curled slightly at his side. So it begins. Even before Hogwarts. The pieces were already moving. This wasn't a distant threat. It was close. Too close. System prompt. New opportunity detected. Target nearby, high-level wizard. Draco's eyes sharpened instantly. High level. His gaze flickered toward the two men. One of them. Or both. Potential targets. Powerful ones. But dangerous. Copying from them now wouldn't be easy. And definitely not safe. Draco didn't move. Didn't rush. His mind calculated rapidly. Risk versus gain. High reward. High exposure. And right now, he wasn't ready. Not yet. He stepped back quietly. Carefully. No sound. No presence. Then turned away. Walking as if nothing had happened. But inside, the Dark Lord is already influencing things. He stopped near the courtyard, looking out at the open space beyond. Sunlight spilled across the stone, bright and indifferent. The world looked peaceful. But it wasn't. Not really. Not anymore. Draco's reflection faintly appeared in the glass beside him. Blonde hair. Gray eyes. Calm face. But beneath that calm, a storm was forming. I need to move faster. Not recklessly. Not blindly. But efficiently. Every day mattered now. Every decision. Every gain. He turned, his steps steady once more. The path ahead had become clearer. Not easier. But clearer. And that was enough. For now. Because the moment he stepped into Hogwarts, the real game would begin. And when it did, Draco Malfoy wouldn't just be prepared. He would be watching. Learning. Copying. And eventually, surpassing. The pieces were already in motion. And this time, he intended to be the one controlling the board.